Liam, first of all, what have you managed to get done over this international break?
Yeah, but it's always a welcome break, isn't it, to try and reflect where you're at with bodies to train, to get extra work in, and digest exactly what's gone before and what possibly is coming forward. So yeah, it's been a welcome break, but like you say, you're soon back at it at Easter, aren't you, with Friday, Monday, etc. So.
Well, you've seen the news on social about Chris T. He just how big a loss is he for the rest of the season?
Yeah, that's still an ongoing um, issue with that. We've had a second opinion, and it doesn't seem as prolific as we first thought. So again, we'll probably manage that day by day, week by week. I won't commit to that. He's out for the season unless the individual tells me so. But the two specialists have had difference of opinion, so we'll continue to go on down that road and get the best outcome.
How big a plus has Steve form been this season? Difficult season because he's just super players nearly stick his hand up and say he's had a decent year.
Yeah, I think he's represented himself very well. Stuck to the task. Always been available to train and to play. And like you say, give a good account of himself more than not. So that's one of the reasons that we'll investigate, and we'll try and get him back on the pitch for Rotherham United as soon as possible.
John Hugill and his knee, how's he looking?
Yeah, very similar. Been to see specialists to see what the best form of kind of recuperation for himself is moving forward. So again, that's something that we're managing on a daily basis, coming into the final 8 games.
How crucial was ending that losing run just before the international break for morale and to go into this period with a little bit more to work on?
Yeah, of course, it's always we were losing by a solitary goal, but bearing obviously the two heavy results that we had. The performance levels were at a good level, just falling the wrong side, and when you're in that moment, it can kind of transpire and spiral, which it has done. But yeah, to get a positive performance, positive result against Huddersfield, it was good going to the international break to then try and get some work in and momentum moving forward as well.
What are your thoughts on Preston as a challenge? They've been in good form, pushing for the playoffs.
Yeah, exactly what they are. Very, very well drilled, been together a long time, very comfortable in their own skin, good staff, play a certain way, ask you so many questions. And like you say, they've probably got a full squad of real hearty, healthy championship players who know the jobs, who are very, very used to playing with each other, very pragmatic. So yeah, they'll offer a real strong game for us on the Friday.
What do you want to see from your players over these last games? What's your message been to them?
To instill real strong good habits, to represent themselves, the club, myself very well, to be available, to play in the games, to do all the things that nobody can stop you doing as a professional, and to continue to be professional. That's in every game, that's in every training session, every time we come together, and like you say, play for that professional pride.
Have you made decisions on everyone's future yet, or are there still people that can influence your decision whether they'll be here or elsewhere next year?
Yeah, I think it's always an ongoing conversation, isn't it? It's always an ongoing thought process. You'd never dismiss any kind of forward-thinking decision for the football club. And I think the individual's always got a case to impress and to make sure that they certainly want to commit to Rotherham, because I think it's a big thing, commitment. The players got to want to commit to the club, and the club's got to want to commit to them as well. And if you do that, you should always become a positive organisation. Whether we've been doing that over the last 12, 18 months or not, it's something that I'm aware of, and it's something that I want to change.
The club's current situation in the league allowed you to have more of an eye on the future and do a little bit more planning. You'll always want to focus on the games and always want to win the games. Has it given you a bit more space to look at that?
I think you should always use certain things for the positive. Obviously the championship's very, very competitive, so you have to make sure you're well drilled, you're well organised, and you're well equipped to go into the games. But yeah, I think the current situation we're in, we could get ahead of the game if we put the right things in the right places at the right time. We certainly could get ahead of the game, and that's some of the decisions that I'm waiting on. It's some of the decisions that I've put forward, and my opinion on certain things at the football club to build it into a place where I think it should be. And I think, certainly from my opinion as well. So, it's again in the next few days and weeks coming. I think you bang on. It's something we can take a real good grasp of and move it forward.
Are you expecting to get the answers you want to those questions and wishes?
You'd hope so. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think if you want to lead the club forward and you've got very, very strong experience in doing so, I think there's always them problems that you don't know that's going on. They're the real problems. But when you can see them and you feel like you can address them and you can be positive and move it forward proactively, I think then it can be a very, very positive thing to do. I think as football clubs, if you're a reactive football club and you react on results and signings and different decisions, well then you can end up in a tough place.
Just finally from me, Liam, just how big a motivation is getting an away win for those long-suffering away supporters?
Yeah, absolutely. It'd be fantastic for them to travel up and down the country, spend a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of finance in supporting their football club. And obviously it was a big thing before I came in, and it's something that we're very, very aware of. And like you say, it'd be great to start on Friday. Sorry.
Yeah. With Chris, how frustrating is it for you as a manager when you get different opinions from two experts?
Yeah, of course, because you want the definitive answer, don't you? And even with young Chris himself, I've spoken to him about the social media and outwardly how you kind of portray yourself. The most important people need to know the most important information, because like you say, he could well not be out for the season, and he could make quite a few games coming into the end of the season. So it's something he needs to learn, something that he needs to add to his armoury, so to speak, within his profession. But yeah, I think it's all relative within that. So we'll get as much information as we can, and we'll make the best decision going forward.
So Seb, there's been a pause in the calendar for the international break. Are you feeling refreshed and ready to take on the remainder of the campaign now?
Yeah, it was a good time to reset and refresh. We got a good time off, and we're back now, and we're ready to finish the season strong, and hopefully we can pick up some wins and get some points.
When you go out on loan, it's obviously with the view to play games and get some first team experience. But realistically, did you expect to feature as many times as you have?
Probably, I knew I was capable, but probably not as much and regularly as I have. I probably wouldn't have expected it, especially coming from the season before 23. So the loans a bit lower down. So yeah, just thankfully, I've been able to regularly play. So yeah.
And you played in a variety of different positions too: left back, wing back, centre back as well. Do you feel like this has helped you increase your development even further than you'd have possibly thought when you first joined on loan?
Yeah, it's always good to try and be a versatile player. I think it's good in the modern game to be able to play more than one position. So the fact that I've got experiences in multiple positions has been very good for me in my profile.
Coming on loan here has given you the opportunity to work with Dan Green again, who you knew from when you were at Villa. How have you found working with Dan again?
Yeah, he's been really helpful. He was helpful at my time at Villa. He's been helpful again now. Always trying to push me each and every day, sitting down, going through my clips with me. So yeah, he's been a real good help, and it's been good to have someone that I knew previously.
Speaking of coaches as well, two different managers this season for you, different ideas and different people to learn from. Just getting a few things from both of them, really.
Yeah. Obviously Matt Taylor, when he was gaffer, he brought me in, so I thank him for that. He gave me the opportunity and put his trust in me as well, and I learned things off him. And then obviously the gaffer now coming in, he's put his trust in me as well and kept that going and been playing me regularly. So yeah, I've learned a lot off both of them, and I'm thankful for that.
And finally, during this loan spell, do you think you've become a better player than what you were when you first walked through the door?
Yeah, definitely. I think if you looked at my performances and watched my games from when I first joined to now, I think it's like night and day. Like I think I've really improved, become more comfortable, and yeah, I think this loan has been real helpful for me and improved me as a player. Yeah.